Yo, I remember when I was a kid.
What?
It was back. I think I was in probably like fifth grade, like fifth or sixth grade. We were all at the lunch table, like me and all my guy friends or whatever, and and we were all talking about porn. And the one white kid, his name was Daniel, and we're like, "Oh, Daniel, what kind of porn you like to watch?" And he was like, I don't know what it's called." Ebony. We were like, Ebony, you dumbass nigga.
You don't deserve.
Yo, we were.
Stick to your white crotch.
He was like, me and Jared was like, Ebony, Ebony, nigga.
Like, you bony motherfuckers.
This nigga said Ebony. I was
Oh,
like,
man.
yo, you are retarded.
I can do you one better. Like just the other day, I was on the phone with Shawty, and she was talking about some goddamn larynx. I was like, larynx? The fuck is that? And she said, the thing that's in her throat. And I was just like, larynx? I was like, no, it's larynx. I said, no, you know. I don't believe you. I'm looking this shit up. And lo and behold, I go to Google. Matter of fact, I'm do it right now, goddamn. I go to Google.
At first, I thought you were saying Latinx. I'm like, this bitch is
Yeah,
retarded.
I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. But then, here you go.
Larynx.
Yeah,
That's what I clicked. I said, you said what again?
what is that? I never even heard of that.
It's the hollow muscular organ forming air passage to the lungs and holding vocal cords in humans and other animals. Basically, the voice box.
So just like throat fucking a bitch.
No, that's not what the larynx is. The larynx is what it's called.
Right, but were you guys discussing porn or you were just discussing
No,
the word?
she
Oh.
made some joke about like me putting words in her mouth or something like that.
Oh. You know, put something else in your larynx.
But like goddamn, I was just like, but yeah, Ebony, niggas.
So speaking of, before I even get into that topic, 'cause I've already been here record. But how you been lately? You know what I mean? You had these 2 weeks off and everything like that. Like what's going on?
I'm in the first week of the said two, and man, it's been. I've just been catching up on life, kind of getting out of my head and getting back into the smoother nature of things. Cause being out in the world, like so many influences, easy for me to forget my focus.
Mm-hmm.
Like once I leave the house and there's women, you know what I mean. I just stopped thinking, right? And so, but yeah, I'm back on. And yourself?
Pretty good. I'm trying to get to where you at because I feel like these past like few weeks have been kind of chaotic.
Yeah.
Just this whole transitioning into this space. So now I'm taking my 2 weeks just to just recuperate and you know, a nigga about to turn 24 and everything. So we getting lit out here.
24 and no kids. I don't really know that.
So that's approaching. But yeah, just trying to get into better, back into the right mental frame where I was originally that got me to this point.
Yeah.
Because now that I got here, it was kind of like, all right, now I have to not readjust, but get reacclimated to this new positioning going on. So, you know,
I'm trying to like catch what you mean by that because I mean at least from the outside, and I know that like for example last week when we were speaking, you had a high sense of urgency.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you saying that now, like, at being as though you've been in here and stuff, it has taken away from that?
No, I still feel urgent. I still feel the need and the want to do everything that I want to do. But in order to like have it be sustainable, I need to have everything up here be
Right.
functioning properly.
Hence the 2 weeks.
Yeah, and to get my footing back together because the transition to being here and then having to now get like not a new schedule together, but just kind of reconfigure the one I currently have and plan things going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Back to taking life, you know, more serious and everything. Yeah, it's been a transition. It's been a transition. I went from caring. Well, I went from not caring to caring a little bit, and then now having to care all the way about everything. And now
Wait,
it's like
caring about what though?
just any and everything, like having to, like if I was still back at home, I would still be in the comfort of being home and not having to worry about everything that I have to control here.
Okay.
You know, and being in control of my actions and shit like that. Whereas, you know, today that's just what it is.
Are you talking about like say caring as in okay like when just now?
Well, yeah, I'm being vague, but as far as like bills or
There we go. Okay.
the shit I do with my time,
There we go.
you know, having to be considerate of like again like my obligations and the shit that I set for myself, and being fully aware of like everything that I'm in control of.
Right.
Because it was at a point in time where I didn't have to be in control of everything.
Right.
So I didn't have to care as much.
I see what you're saying.
You know, so
I'm all caught up.
yeah, being back at home, like I only really had to care about myself, and that was it. I didn't have to worry about everything else around me.
Right.
Nowadays, it's not like that.
Your world feels a little larger.
Yeah, and it's not something I'm mad about. Like
No.
I embrace it. I want that. This is what I wanted. I asked for this.
Yeah.
But the transitioning into it is like, slow it down. All right, we here, but goddamn.
I mean, well, what's there to slow down? Talk to the speak to that transition process. Like, what's
All right, so boom. Being so I went from living out with roommates in Philly to coming back home and now to my own space. That transition to Philly was easier than this transition to here, due simply to the fact that even when I was out there, I didn't have to worry about too much, because I was surrounded by people or a person who pretty much had everything else under control, which allowed me to still kind of do whatever the fuck I wanted to do,
okay?
without much regard. And now, having to come back home, it was like, okay, if I knew what it took to do what that person was doing to keep everything under control, and knew what it's taking my parents to keep everything under control, I have to then start to embody that.
Yeah. Does it have anything to do with like something as simple as waking up alone, waking up in his, or just always being alone, having that?
I don't really care about that.
All right.
Yeah, no. Less to do with the emotional part of it, because that's fine. Like, I don't.
Yeah, no, and not even emotional. I was thinking, like you said, I had everything under control. So I was thinking, like, do you feel less secure without all that?
Yeah, for sure. Like the security is all on me
Yeah.
to make sure everything needs to go the way it needs to go. Like I said, bills, my obligations, my time, like all that.
Makes sense.
All that shit for sure. It all has to come back on me. So now that I have to be aware of these things and be responsible, it's you know, it's taken its turn on me. So now it's like, all right, let me like everything else that I know I can do, I need to take time to figure it out for me, because I know once I figure it out for me, then everything will start flowing the way I want it to flow.
Yeah,
You know.
and you speak of time, and I was thinking about that earlier. That was one of the things I've written down. Just, I noticed that urgency you had and my lack thereof last week. It was like, what is it? I have a way about, I have a way of going about things where it's like, I'll see like the process, but we discussed this briefly when I was on FaceTime with y'all. Like basically try to truck through the process by it's not a thing of skipping steps, more so than doing them in a very half-assed manner. And like for example this week, especially I noticed, if I was looking in hindsight, that same sense of urgency that you have for just the goals with the podcast and like the goals that we have individually, I had that urgency, but only for like it was focused in one area, which was writing and putting out, having more output with music, just because I saw like more results here really quick, so I had to focus in on that. And yeah, like what as far as your sense of urgency is concerned, when it comes to the pod, the goals that we have, what keeps you in that space? What keeps you in tune?
Um, the fact that I just always see more. I just always see more for whatever it is that I'm doing and anything I'm involved in. And if I see more, I want to work towards that more.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. So
And I do see.
so like you just said, right? You feel the urgency towards your writing and music because you see more with it.
Right, right.
I feel that way about everything I do.
Right, right.
But I'm passionate about it at least. Like I'm passionate about the pod. I'm passionate about my photography, my screenwriting. I'm passionate about fucking like working out. I'm passionate about my family. Like all these things. So I'm always envisioning like the biggest thing about it.
Okay.
And if I see that and I see the value in it for me, I wanna get to it. Like that's where that comes from.
Makes sense. All right, yeah, and when you broke it down like that, it does help see it clearly. Like you can spread your value more, like or not spread your value more so than your focus more. Because it's not that I don't see value in these things, more so than I don't spread my focus out to them fairly.
And that's another reason why I wanted to take 2 weeks because I want to be able to structure my timeline again that I had before.
Right, right.
Because when I know I want to do all these things, I have to make it fit with the time that I have. And if I know that to be the case, I want to dedicate my time to these things in order to progressively like get, I always use the video game reference, but just to keep leveling up in all these areas. Like if it was like my skill tree, like I want, or just like my attributes and everything, I want these to be leveling up consistently as time goes on, and not just have this one thing totally lower level and I get one shot at.
That's a double-edged sword though, because like and I've said this to Bree, I think. I don't know if she was the one who disagreed with the whole concept, but the whole concept of what is it? Not even over promising. Jack of all trades, master of none. Like on one hand, I think I'm doing the right thing because I'm mastering one thing. I'm focusing on one thing, as some of the successful people would advise you to do. And then on the other hand, which is another thing some successful people advise you to do, is to dish out as much as you can, and then almost like a whatever sticks to the wall kind of thing. And I can never find a good happy medium or happy balance and know when you're doing the right thing because you're not in the future of your results.
Well, the thing about that is like it took me a minute. So you're figuring out what it is to like have like multiple focuses. Where the opposite for me is like trying to figure out if I should just have one focus. You know what I mean? Knowing that I want to have these other focuses.
Right.
Because these are shit that I'm passionate about.
Exactly.
Because I've been told that thing, Jack of all trades, master of none. I'll never forget the first time. First, I read it because of my zodiac sign. I read it and I was like, that's cool saying. And then when I was dating Jasmine and I went to her house and her grandmother was like, and I was telling her, I'm a Gemini. She's like, Jack of all trades, master. And I'm like, you old bitch. That shit made me so... That shit made me so mad. And I was like...
She just come out, Jack of all... I thought you made the granny voice.
Yo, literally.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yo, that shit made me so fucking pissed, yo. Because I was like... Because she made it seem like it was such a bad thing. Yeah. And so I've been grappling with that for like years. And it's not
so
until...
So you understand?
Yeah, so it's not until now where I feel...
I was like, why does sock feel dry? I'm blind ass. I'm done getting dressed in the dark.
He said, I can see.
Yeah, I said, it feels like a sock.
Put the sock on his head.
Looks about right.
Look like he about to rob a bank.
Look like COVID.
Look like a condom.
That's it. I was giving some head.
I already knew he was coming.
Yeah.
But it's taken me so long just to be comfortable knowing that I want to do all these things and that having the time to When I watch that back, I'm gonna crack the fuck
That's
up.
what I was just saying, thinking about the movie.
I just saw you in the corner of my eye. I was like, why he moving so much?
Go on, I'm listening.
But it's taking me a minute to be comfortable with like all these fucking things. I'm watching your ass.
That's it. I'm so stupid.
It's taking me a minute to be comfortable knowing that I have all these focuses in everything I want to do. But it's not like I'm trying to do 12 different things. I literally only want to do 3 things.
But you want to do them very well.
Very well, but to my standard and at my pace.
Okay.
I know I could potentially get a whole lot more done in one area, but another part of me would be lacking, not giving that attention. So like right now, I feel like the writer side of me has been totally like put on shelf.
Yeah, I put that on the back.
I hate it because I've been living life so much, and nigga, I just lived something I wrote about.
Boom.
And it's like, and I was like, yo, I need to be doing that. Like, I need to be telling this story that I've been wanting to tell for a minute.
All right, now that's good, because that's what space, that urgency, that intensity, that feeling like you need to get back to it. That's how I was feeling about the music. It was like you've been doing all this living. You know what I mean? You have experiences to pull from. You just haven't sat down and had the time to really, flesh it out. And so, like in that space, is that what you're looking to do with this 2 weeks?
I'm looking to just get back into it, put my mind back towards thinking creatively again, and not being like so distracted. Taking the time to just like be still for a moment, embrace all that has like came for me. And look to just put the structure back, because that's something I've always saw for myself as having structure in my life where all these things are happening at one time, and I feel good about it.
That's good.
So again, if I showed you my board, like my goal I still have for myself is having a successful photography business. And I want to take this time to really get back into learning the business. Networking again, really trying to practice my editing, looking into new camera that I can buy and shit like that, saving towards that. Like a whole lot of shit I'm really trying to get into, but these past few weeks have been, again, the transition and trying to get comfortable and used to the space that I'm in. And now I have to reel it in and be like, okay, let me figure it out from here.
Yeah. Yo, speaking of figuring it out too, I was looking at my old, if you ever look at people you used to subscribe to on YouTube and shit, I looked at this lady, Kaylee Jean, who I used to watch her tarots every month and every year and stuff like that, as far as like what the Capricorn or Geminis do with that. If you remember that one year, like in 2015 or something, it hit you like, yo, I just wrote out your year based on...
Yeah, I do remember that shit.
But like, motherfucking this bitch, I was really following, like... I grew a dependency on her to like kind of motherfucking navigate my life through astrology. And looking back in hindsight, I really know now that it was just something to believe in at low times, or something to give me hope when I needed it.
Give you direction.
Yeah, a sense of direction. Feel like I knew where my life was going. And like about 7-8 months ago, she stopped doing them, and I've been looking at her faithfully every month for at least like 4 years at that point. And so I remember that 8 months ago, and it was it wasn't a peachy time in the life. Like things were at a low point, and I didn't know how I was going to navigate, but I knew I had to do it without her. But looking back though, I'm glad that I think the timing was perfect for her to stop that. Like if I am to believe that the universe speaks in different ways, that was the perfect timing for me. I just needed to let go of that dependency, that crutch on, because it was like I was waiting for the world to come to me. And without action, none of these dreams are coming true. You can't just wish and want into reality, But yeah, that came to mind when we was talking about that.
Would you say? Today have you? Fuck, how much I to ask this? Would you say that today that you feel as though you don't need like the dependency on like anything to believe in, or is that still like an idea that you're still kind of playing around with?
For sure. I don't feel like I need the horoscopes and the astrology or like as much. Like I used to really like base my days and stuff off of how it would say it was gonna go, and it just was a unhealthy practice. You know, you lack control, and so I have more control over what I want, my mindset, and making things happen if it's not happening. You know, I do still feel like there's an element of believing in something. However, it's less so about the words in a horoscope or a tarot than it is just about believing in yourself.
Right.
You know.
That's interesting. Like it was because I remember it was at a point in time for me where I was super into like astrology and like looking at more so I was into the personality traits of it all.
Oh yeah.
And then I started looking at the day-to-day horoscopes, and I would, if anything, I'll be looking to see if it was gonna be that.
Right.
And sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't, or just depending on what it was, like it wouldn't always be 100% like accurate.
Right.
But the one thing I still do carry from that is just like because I do believe that there is some realistic point to when and where you're born. I feel like that does have a lot to do with the kind of person you are.
Yeah.
And just even with me and Shawty, like us both being Geminis, like I see a lot of what I have in her too. And we kind of just bounce off of that. Like, like the time we was just even spending together, like I was just like, damn, man, this bitch is like, got like me. Like,
he said, "You just like me, got it all up in the club, and I can't be mad." He said, "Shawty got a beard too." I'm over here growing boobs. I was born in June. You're just like me.
I was born in
June.
Yo, this nigga retarded. I do like that song too.
You know it's a jam. He said you gonna be singing like that from now on.
Yeah, especially when T.I. Park come on, show you fooling you. No, I'm way too cool for you. Everybody that game want me play me to
the only part I know is like the booty do be moving, booty late night straight pipe. That ain't nothing new to you.
Yo, he killed that shit, dog. But yeah, me and Shawty found out, we both Geminis. Like I see a lot of what I've always kind of like read about in her, and just things I noticed about me, I see in her too. And it's always like it was dope, and I find that she's always dope to be around, just because I know that, and I can kind of relate to it. I can play with that, not play with it.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Be
yeah,
comfortable.
you wasn't trying to play her.
Yeah, no. But the fact that it's I understand wherever she's coming from. Like I'm a little more compassionate.
It's funny. A couple of episodes ago, you remember the babe I was talking about that that night I was supposed to go over to her crib. We never went. Yeah, like motherfucking, because similarly to your situation, she was a Capricorn as well, and I thought that was a nice touch because I just felt like we resonated on certain stuff. Why did I let that go by the wayside? A couple of reasons. One of them being like, I'm noticing that you mentioned the word chaos some time ago, and that's kind of what my life feels like when I just am entertaining more women. Like,
yeah,
it feels like chaos, man.
Absolutely.
Like, and because even when I'm not like around the woman, I don't know. Once I get my my dick involved, like I'm not thinking straight. Like, excuse me. I was holding that motherfucker for a minute. I said, I'm not. I almost died. But, I was holding that shit in. He said, bless you. I said, thanks. It was a cough, nigga.
Oh, nigga, let it out.
Yeah, it's all gone now. We back. I'm alive.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
man. Like, the more ladies I entertain, the more I feel like, man, I'm not making headway on my goals, and I got these bitches in my face. Like, what am I doing? And so, excuse me. That was the reason. I just kind of had to let that go by the wayside because I knew what my ultimate intention was in the
Right.
first place. I want to have sex with you, Miss Lady. You're very attractive. You're smart and all these things. That's cool, but I don't care about getting to know you. You know, honestly, that's just wasted time to me because what is it going to do for me?
Yeah.
Knowing somebody. There's billions of people to know. So, yeah, it was no point to that. I kind of just let it go by the wayside. A lot of good qualities about Miss Lady, but it's just like, my life is pretty good, and I got a good. I'm in a space where, like, depending on what decisions I make, I can move forward with a lot of ease, and I'd rather like not bring any more variables in that could change that.
Right. I always hear you speak like with a whole lot of like just like verification, and I noticed that a lot of times you like you say, life can feel chaotic depending on what it is that you're doing at the time. But I always see you like having an understanding of what a lot of shit is. And for me, since I've been out on my own now, just for this little bit of time, I've already started to like learn a whole lot about myself. Like in the time that you've been out on your own, I can only imagine how much you've learned about yourself.
Makes sense.
In that time. Like what would you say is like the biggest or some of the biggest things you learned about yourself that you didn't know before, and that you may either like, or things that you may not favor too much about yourself?
As far as like what being alone has taught me, or being out on my own, it's almost like door to door. It teaches you the harsh truths about yourself very quickly too. Like just your lack of discipline. Being alone, like, and because a lot of times you'll feel vindicated because you earned this position, so you don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do, and you can do everything that you do want to do. So that creates a big opportunity for you to fuck yourself up. Basically, fuck yourself over. Do things that you wanted to do but are a detriment to you. Overindulge. You know, like you get the freedom to make a lot of bad decisions, and that's where the discipline comes in, and it'll show you face to face your lack of it, or your lack thereof, or whether you have it or not. And I feel like that's the space where you'll do much better than I had in the past. I was slow to learning that discipline, and I still am learning that. Yeah. I will also say too, like, shoot, I get in my head a lot, and so I'll make I'll have a lot of conversations with myself that'll come to a conclusion that's incorrect, and then I'll bring that conclusion to the forefront, say to you, or whatever the situation is, and I could be wrong. However, I'm convinced that I'm right.
Because you spend so much time with it.
So I've verified this with myself, and I've not had the dialogue. So, like, a lot of times what I think your truth is, I've already come up with it before you've told me your truth.
Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. That's the shit that bitches be doing. Like, I can't tell you how many conversations I had, well, at least girlfriends, where that's always been something where they would go off on their own, think of all this shit, and come back to me with it as if any of that ever happened. Like, bitch, I've been at home. I was asleep.
He said, what?
I don't understand. I'm like, no, nigga, you did it.
Yeah. Nah, I'm an overthinker for sure. And so like, when they get the and oftentimes I don't think I've come to the conclusion that it's not overthinking more so than like some people just don't think as much and or don't consider as many outcomes. And so like I try to, it's part of controlling things.
Well, that I think that's where the line then comes in with how much you do think, and you cross that line when you then become, like you said, when you form those conclusions without the other verification side of it.
Right.
You know, like that's when it becomes overthinking. Yeah. If you haven't even gotten the whatever other side you needed to verify anything. If it's just been you the whole time, and then a conclusion is made, and now it's a fact.
Because you know what, you just putting that puts it in a perspective that all goes off of how one person feels. When you're thinking to yourself, and you come to your own conclusions. That's all based off of one person's perspective. And while I've been aware of that, it's probably also exercising the muscle of like cooperation, just being more fair, because. While I may be aware that it's my own conclusions and a self that I'm considering, I may not care enough to consider anybody else.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I know for me, one of the things that I kind of learned just in this short amount of time I've been on my own, I can do so much more. Like, I can do so much more. And when I looked over my life, there's been several instances where just a little bit of effort that I gave in some shit, like I felt successful in it. And the fact that I even got here, it was like a reminder of that, like, yo, nigga, like you have so much more to do and to give for yourself. And then now the true test comes in of the discipline and the consistency. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier about having that transition to having not so much to care about to now caring about everything. And considering everything and knowing how shit is going to affect one thing compared to another. So I have to, what I learned is that sure I can do more and I can be able to prosper in those things, but now I have these 12 other things to consider too that I'm responsible for. And which is going to make getting into those things a little bit more challenging, but it's not going to stop me either from getting into them, because that's what's most important to me in my life right now. And if I do see them being as great as they can be, and if I put the energy towards them, they will be that great if I see that.
It's kind of the way I see like the levels to things. Like you see a motherfucker in a fly ass outfit, but he getting on the bus. And then you see a motherfucker in a fly ass outfit, and he getting on the bus, but he's going to his own apartment. And then you have the fly motherfucker who's driving to his own apartment in a shitty car. But yeah, I mean, just the levels to it. Then he'll be fly in a better car or something like that. But the idea is of like just knowing that when you look back as that guy that was in the fly outfit that had to get on the bus at first, and then you look back and you realize that you can still be fly, you still have your place that you live, and you have a car. It's like you kind of start to realize that you're capable of more than you think you are. You have more wealth than you think you have. It's just being utilized towards more things. Right. You know? So it's like compound responsibilities.
Exactly. And it's definitely it's funny too, because like I feel like even just my whole like energy has like changed a little bit since I've been here. It's been more like I can't even describe it just yet, but I feel a little different. I feel a little different, and I can't put my finger on it just yet. But I think it has something to do with the fact that I now have to again care about everything now. Not everything as far as like what other people think shit, but shit that has to concern with me and the shit that I do. Being in control of everything, like I have to be a little more self-aware and follow through with that self-awareness.
For lack of better wording on that feeling that you feel, does it have anything, or is it in any kind of space of it's giving vindication in manhood? And
Yeah, yeah. I'll say that it is definitely leaning towards feeling more like the man.
yeah.
Well, not but a man. Either way.
I was going to say cinnamon. Synonymous.
Don't scratch.
I still can't fucking get that word right.
Semantics.
Yeah.
You got me saying synonymous.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Synonymous, right? I thought I had it right.
Nigga said Samus.
I said salmon. That's a SoHPKC.
Seamus. But yeah, like just becoming more of the man that I always thought I could be and that I always wanted to be. Like I think it's like walking in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little weird. It's a little sometimes it can be a bit unsettling, and that's something else I kind of learned is that I've gotten used to it, but not totally used to it. That when I feel just uncomfortable trying to find like my comfort zone, and fighting that habit so much, you know what I mean? Where if I'm not used to something or feel very uncomfortable, I'll try to like retreat into my comfort zone. And
oh yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, and I feel like lately I've been I feel like sometimes I slipped up at it a few times with like not being as urgent or not being as productive as I needed to be and shit like that. Cause like, all right, for example, my mom, she keeps telling me that, you know, I need to rest, and, you know, relax and this, that, and the third. All true and very valid. But the point I keep stressing to her is that like, sure, I have time to rest, but I don't want to rest. Cause resting to me is my comfort zone.
Right.
I don't want to just fucking lay down and do nothing. I don't just want to be in my bed and watch YouTube videos all day. Right. I don't just want to just do all the shit that I did as a kid. Right. Like the fact that I have yet to turn this fucking game on.
Mm-hmm.
is,
Yo, that's the beautiful thing about having it.
Man.
Like motherfucking that PlayStation and shit, or any game that you get, you'll realize that having your own space and shit. It was like me realizing why when I went over cousins' houses that had the games and the toys that they never really played with them and touched them like I wanted to.
Shit, I play with mine.
Yeah,
all the time.
Different.
I play with my shits all
but
the
yeah,
time.
like motherfucking, I would go over cousins' houses or friends' houses and they would have like Smash or something.
We play the game all the time.
Yeah, that's true. But motherfucking outside of us, I would always see these motherfuckers like not caring about their game or not playing their game and stuff. But when you have it, it's like, who gives a fuck? I'll play it later. I'll touch it later. I'll do something with it later. And you never will.
But that's, like I said, it's different for me because that was my life at one point. You know, and as a man, I don't feel like that's my life anymore.
Yeah.
And the fact that, again, like I think I mentioned before, but the only time I cut it on is if my niece and my nephew want to play Smash.
Yeah.
Or Mario Kart. I don't play it. Like, and if I do, it's very seldom. I'll put it on for like maybe 20 minutes and I'll stop. Like try to run around with Link or like catch a few Pokemon.
Because the fulfillment that came from it isn't there anymore.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'd even need to like. I used to feel proud about how much I knew about like video games and shit like that, but in reality, it doesn't really do anything for me if I'm not if I'm not actively involved in the space.
Right.
And I'd rather spend my time knowing more about the shit that is gonna get me to where I want to be.
Precisely.
And so yeah, just walking more into being a man and getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, like I was practicing before. And now that I'm saying that out loud, I feel like it's a little it's I had to fight to get out of my comfort zone because just for the past 6 months I've been back home, which has been a comfort zone for me.
Yeah.
While
I thought that's
prior,
what you were talking about just recently when you said, like, I thought mentally you were giving yourself that pillow to fall on.
yeah, exactly. And because prior to that, I was not home, and I was doing that every day with getting out of my comfort zone. I was kind of, if anything, forced to do it, but I was okay with doing it because I wanted to do it, and I knew it was gonna help me. But then coming back home and kind of just like slowly chipped away at all that progress I made.
Yeah.
And now I had to find it within myself to rebuild all that up and like sustain it like I was doing it before. So that's kind of what I've been learning about myself just these past 2 weeks.
That's good though. Knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, and
So what you got?
like nothing crazy, but so like I said, I had Shawty over, this past weekend, and it was great. Like nothing crazy happened, we did our thing, but just spending time with her, like I'm just like, man, like don't get me wrong, like I enjoy spending time with this girl, but I'm like, I could definitely be doing something else.
What now you're getting what I mean.
And that's what I'm about to get to. I'm like, I could be doing something else. And I said I'm not enjoying my time with her. I was enjoying it every second of it. But it's a small little ring in the back of my head, like, nigga, you could be doing just a small. And I was like, yeah, okay. Now I'm gonna. Now it's starting to change a little bit more.
It's coming around.
Like,
motherfucking, I like that you said that just because, motherfucking, we always experience, I can't say always, but we have a way of experiencing each other's perspectives at one point or another. Mm-hmm. And so I do like that, like, it's one thing for me to explain where I'm coming from and another thing for you to understand it from your own perspective as well. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I speak to it a lot these days. Like, I can't, it's hard for me to miss pussy. Like, it's hard for me to miss the opportunity. Probably, like, had I not started having sex at, like, 18 or something, maybe that wouldn't be the case. Maybe it would. Who knows? I have a great sexual appetite. But, like, motherfucking, I can't, once I bust a nut, I'm like even when I'm once I bust a nut, I'm just good. Like I'm cool off the moment. So I like the old girl, for example, that I've been on for a couple years now. She's the only lady that I could bust and still kind of kick it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? But 9 times out of 10, I'll bust. I'm ready for you to leave.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm always thinking of the Wayne bar. It's like soon as I come to my senses.
It's real shit. There was a post I saw recently. I don't know if I mentioned this before about the pre or post nut clarity implies pre-nut psychosis or something like that. And I was just like, that's valid. Now I wouldn't go as far as to put that into the law or something, because then you could get away with a lot of bullshit. Yeah, we ain't gotta go there. But like, motherfucking, yeah, man. Like, I feel like that's a real thing. Like, and so lately, like, I know we talk a lot about discipline and stuff, but you saw the fucking, you saw the motherfucking ad that was on my screen, like. Yeah, I've been watching porn, nigga. Cause like sometimes I know I'm about to make a decision where if I just bust this nut, I can get right back to what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Like and while I don't like the fact that I don't have the discipline not to, do either and still get my shit done, I know that if I bust this nut, then I'm right back. Mm-hmm. I'm back to me. Even yesterday when I was beating my dick, I realized that shit. I was like, yo, my confidence is great. Like, I'm not thinking about what bitch the fuck it is. Like, I'm fine. Like, and so, like, while there's validity to the no-fap thing, I do think as just me navigating my manhood, like, damn that, I gotta do what I gotta do to stay on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, and back to this like how you just said, talking about our perspective and then having one of us like live it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like those are one of those things where to live the perspective that I'm talking about, just of not like having to do it and not having to rely on it to feel those things that you're feeling after like beating, like it's totally different. Like it's totally different. It's something that I haven't. So for example, that first week when I got in, like 2 days after, like haven't beat since.
Okay.
Haven't at all, and that alone, like I feel even just I guess you could say just proud about, just because I already been practicing enough to where moments like that are only going to come few and far between.
Okay.
And I'm now fully self-aware of, again, the control and responsibility that I have, that I'm like, all right, if I know how I'm going to feel afterwards, I'm just not going to do it.
Okay.
I'm just not. And the fact that I had Shorty come over, it was rounds for days. That gave me all the verification I need. I was like, nigga, fuck me, I'm done. Like, yo, that was it. And the fact that, I could even go again, but I was like, nah, let's chill. that solidified it for me. I was like, nah, I don't need this as much as I thought I would.
And again, perspective, because like I'm looking at it from the perspective that, all right, if I beat my dick and I get this nut off, then I won't be looking to get this nut off on whatever chick that I pick, and I'll just be back to the straight and narrow. Plus, I know that with old girl, the 3 years Miss Lady, like great, like we good in that arena, like whether I beat or not. So like, what am I losing? That's where I be thinking. Now, of course, it sounds like it all sounds like a powerful mechanism of discipline that I'd love to apply to myself. So, like, it's not that it's a bad thing, and it's not that I won't try again. I just know that, like, in these beginning stages of me trying to find the discipline of not chasing pussy, I need a remedy. I need like when you're on drugs and you need a substitute.
But sometimes people like that, they substitute with a whole nother vice.
Yeah, and it is another vice.
That's what I'm saying.
I peeped the way you said you feel afterwards, the feeling you get after you bust that nut beating your own dick.
Because it's different, right? So we both know how different it is from when you bust by beating or bust by fucking.
Yeah,
like, it's a totally different thing.
Yeah. However, like I'm remembering that feeling, that if I could remember accurately, of like just feeling disgusted with myself or something like that. I don't feel that these days. I'm like, man, fuck. If I didn't do this, I would have done something that would have made me feel disgusted with myself.
I think, though, that comes more back into the control, because if you're aware of, like, okay, if you don't feel disgusted now about what you're doing, and potentially you would have felt disgusted about the other choice you would have made, there's always another alternative to all these things.
True.
That could be
I mean, in a perfect world, I wouldn't have to touch my dick and I could get right back to staying focused. It's a matter of like what? I narrowed it down to, if I beat my dick, I've I've really cut out a lot of variables.
I'm
like,
so mature. It's the word dick. It's so funny to me. You're idiots. What did he do to you?
But yeah, man, like, nigga, what is it? It's just like, man, I definitely do want to have the discipline not to be beaten. However, if it's a vagina that comes with a person that I have to deal with versus just my hand and getting it over with and going back to my business, I'm gonna have to go with the latter.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like your reasons are valid, and they definitely do make sense, and I understand.
It's just a lack of discipline. That's all it is.
And I'm always gonna say, man, just for me, it's been.
I gotta try it.
Only because I know that. So I decided to do that for like a little bit. Not no time recently, but
yeah.
I would beat just so I wouldn't have to go out my way to like just to get some pussy or whatever, or like make those kind of decisions. But it was never what the fuck. Turn something back, right? But it was never one of them situations where I would even feel good after doing it. I would just knew that I avoided something else, but at the cost of me feeling bad about myself. And these days now, what really helped me is just knowing that I have other shit to do. That I don't even have to even beat or fuck a bitch to just get like my mind clear. I'd rather just do the work that I know I have to do, because those things at the end of the day are not important and they aren't urgent on my priority list.
Yeah.
At all.
So
I can stay in the gym and do everything I could possibly want to do in that time if I would have beat or fuck or spend time doing anything else besides doing those two things.
that was what I was about
Or
to
sleeping,
get to.
goddamn. Like,
That's
nigga.
what I was about to get to though. Like, say you writing on your laptop and stuff. Your dick get hard. You're on your laptop. You're not at the gym. Like, if you were to, if the tasks were to get out of the house and to do something, like,
So
then
boom.
I get that difference.
Alright,
But
so
when you're
boom,
in front of
because-
your, I mean, you
So
just
I can relate. So when that shit happens, nigga, I'm busting push-ups down right there.
okay.
As many as I could do before I fucking collapse. Or I'm doing as many crunches as I fucking can. Or fucking whatever you got to, it don't gotta be so crazy. Like,
Yeah, because I'm just like, man, I can't think straight.
yeah,
like,
'cause shit doesn't always have to be everything doesn't have to just be A to B. No, you can try C, D, E, as long as you need whatever other alternative there can be. It has to be tried because it has to be the most effective. And for me, the most effective has been just not doing it at all. And even if a lot of times, like I said, I'll be horny just to fuck a bitch, but it's like, but do I really even want to? Because for me, I don't even have a car. So now it's money I could possibly have to be spending to go fuck a bitch.
Right.
And now it's like, nah, I'd
Right.
rather not. You know what I mean? And I'm okay here. And I don't need as much as I thought I would. And
Uber days.
yeah, like fuck all that. I'm good.
That's like $60.
Yeah, if it ain't truly worth it, well, a lot of times it really ain't truly worth it, then it's like whatever. But speaking of on porn, me and Shelby was having this conversation. I don't know how we even stumbled upon it, but she said that porn stars are talented and that they're valuable. And I was like, you're out your fucking mind. That porn stars are talented and valuable.
Now, talented, that can be somebody's opinion, so I ain't mad at that.
Well, here's the thing.
Valuable though, what I know I watch homegrown videos a lot. I don't even get to see the stars,
But
so their value is probably not as high based off of the market.
But here's the thing, right? So first point, right? Let's go into talent. That can be someone's opinion all day, but it's a stupid ass opinion because it does not take talent to take dicks to the face or to fuck some bitches. That is not talent worthy. That is disrespectful to the motherfuckers who actually have talent.
I mean,
And anything else.
I'm a talented motherfucker. I'm not disrespected by the feeling that like porn stars have talent because they are in front of a camera. They do have to perform, and they do have to do it consistently.
No, dog.
I ain't mad.
All
at
right, boom.
somebody
So
calling me
regular
talented.
fucking actors in film and television, they have more talent than people who just have to fuck on camera. Because we can do that right now.
Yeah. I said, no, fuck
Lights,
me not.
camera, action, nigga. What you trying to do?
I said, no, fuck me not. We got box, nigga.
Yo, it's not. There's no talent involved in this shit.
I'm
And
not mad at
her
somebody
point was
saying that.
like, do you know, like they have to take these huge dicks? Like, yes, bitch, I know what they do in these shits. I know. That does not make it talent. No,
nah.
absolutely not. The real talent in this fucking world is the people who actually, where it takes genuine skill that it like everyone just can't do. Like,
Hey man, I'm a firm believer. Like until you do the job, you never know. And so
That's
being
great,
as
but
though
fuck
I've
that.
never been in porn, like motherfucking, it's still a job and you still working and motherfucking you gotta fuck bitches you probably not even into. Like they you know how the
that
Chris
don't make
Brown
it-
music video he
but
was
that
saying
don't make it talent though, cause we do that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's no talent to do these things at all. Yeah. You know who's talented? A fucking heart surgeon. You know who's talented? A nigga who can fucking build a rocket. Well, that's talent.
There's an opinion or an argument to say that neither of those is talent more than it is genius.
I think to be genius is a talent.
I don't think so. I think to be genius...
because everyone isn't a genius.
True. I mean... True.
Everyone can't be Steve Jobs.
I look at those things that you just named, like heart surgery and the other thing. It's like those are things that can be learned, and talent isn't learned. Talent is innate.
Talent can also be cultivated too. And if you're someone also who's really good at like numbers in your hands, that's talent. Yeah, but it's talent to build a fucking apartment complex if you have the envision of how shit is gonna look, and you can put pen to paper and then have people like do this shit. That's talent. Mm-hmm. That's genuine like work right there. But and it's also valuable too.
It is. That can't be argued. It is valuable work.
And to be and be a porn star and to be in the porn industry, it's like if anything, it's a side of nature, of human nature, that society, that isn't praised, and for good reason. Like, if anything, it's destructive, especially towards men. Yeah. Extremely destructive. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I felt such a way about it when she said it, because I'm just like, yo, like, you don't even understand, like, how that can even, like, affect anyone's psyche, just, like, being so engraced in the porn, whether you do it or not. Like, the overall effect of it. Like,
it all goes to that discipline, though, right? Like, on one hand, sure, porn is not the most glorified part of human nature, and on the other hand, it's just like, it's an industry and a business because it makes money. So it's not that it's bad; it's just that it profits off of people's lack of discipline.
It profits not only off of that; it profits off of what's the word I'm trying to get to? It profits off of people's lack of just anything, or trying to fulfill a fantasy, or just anything that isn't conducive for like just I guess societal like norms. You know what I mean?
Well, bro, if that was the case, they wouldn't have sold cigarettes either. There's a lot of things
but that's what I'm trying to get to. These industries that are so like that are commonalities, mm-hmm. that doesn't make them okay. Cocaine is an industry.
The way I see it, it's like, what is it? It's a lot of ways you can, and you brought up the video game analogy. It's a lot of ways you can lose or die in a game. Your responsibility is to win. You know what I mean? It's like, as the character that you are and as the character that you play in this video game world, you're aware of the enemies and the AI and cigarettes and porn and all this destructive shit that you're supposed to overcome. I feel like these things are placed in place for their destructive nature. Things have to die. People have to do this thing. Like, they're here for that reason. Your purpose, or if you do see purpose in yourself, your best bet is to avoid those things. And I think that's what we're discussing now. Is like, while there's the existence of these destructive things, it's up to us to have the discipline to navigate correctly.
I just thought of this analogy. If I were placating to the argument that, okay, like, porn stars are talented, right?
Right.
Anything that has to get you to do something bad is talented. Like, the devil is talented at what the fuck you do.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To get niggas to do some fucked up shit, he has a way with words. You know what I mean?
Nigga was the best musical angel in the heavens.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, you have to be talented to get people to do or be involved in some fuck shit. You know what I mean? Nigga, you have to be talented.
Lucifer's out of the morning, I'm gonna get you out of here. He said, I'm gonna get you to do what I want to do. I'm a jackass. That was so dumb.
But it's like, yo, like, you had to be talented for the Lucy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I
couldn't think of the verse.
Yeah. Fuck. Damn.
I told you he turned 26. I was like, oh shit.
I'm trying to think of the intro. He was like, I thought this is what you wanted. They say if you're scared, go to church. But remember, he knows the Bible too. That was the creepiest part of that album.
That shit was scary.
I heard that part. I was like, tear. Like, that shit was creepy.
Maybe when I get you. I'm a
Look at this.
Why you killed
I
that shit.
I was like, oh shit.
You said it to me. I know what you said too. You said
What?
But yo, like, to be anything and have people involved in some fucked up shit, like, you had to be talented in it. That's why cult leaders are talented in the fucking in their words. Like, they can indoctrinate people into their movements. Like, just anything, you can be talented, but that doesn't make it always a good talent.
Shit, that's talented me. You can make me bust it. I ain't there. That's witchcraft. I said, oh shit.
Body start levitating from your dick.
I said, dick start picking me up. Dick start beating me. I said, it don't feel so good.
Start beating me. But yo, like, I just felt so strong about that shit. I'm like, I
ain't mad at that shit. Recently, I was in the trim room at my other job, and motherfucking, this white boy, his family must be like well connected or some shit. Like, he gets a lot of information from a lot of different areas. But he was saying that he knows somebody that, or so he says. Like, people could talk a lot of shit, but
yeah.
What is it? He knows somebody that works in the Secret Service who had discussed with him that they lose Biden all the time. All the time. If this has any validity to it, that's silly. Like, he on some dementia shit. Like, it makes me wonder, like, how much we don't know. Like, the perception is reality, right? When we was doing door to door, that was a big part of sales, is perception. And so I'm realizing that if that is the case, then how much of our perception is skewed? Like, how safe is the president really? Like, how safely protected is he really, or is it the allure of being the president that makes you think that he's under so much safety and security, when it turns out that they have to find him in the forest all the fucking time because he has dementia? That's the case.
I mean, I never even considered presidents to be the safest just because of the presidents, because they've been assassinated so fucking much. Yeah. No matter what, and of course security has been advanced since, but there's still a likelihood that anything could fucking happen. Yeah. Like I said, it's the fact that, again, just chaos happens anyway, no matter what, and that, again,
still bleed.
And the fact that we was talking about the devil, but in reality, like, some shit is always gonna happen. That's gonna, something always has to happen. Always. There can never be. There's no point in history where there's been nothing but peace. Something comes to fuck something up all the time. Yeah. Whether it be natural disasters, whether it becomes a plague or a man in power, war, whatever it is, famine, something comes to fuck shit up no matter what.
Speaking of something to come fuck shit up, imagine that all the events, even what we're doing right now, are just domino effects of all events from before.
For sure.
It's just like, damn. So something's always happening that is going to create the next event.
So you probably haven't, but they came out with the first episode of Loki on Disney Plus.
Okay, what's that? Oh, from Loki the God.
Yeah, from Avengers, whatever. So in Endgame, they go back in time to
I
get.
said Sharloki the god.
Loki the mischievous god. But in Endgame in the movie, they go back in time to get all the Infinity Stones, and they had to go back to the first Avengers movie in New York where Loki came and started fucking everything up.
Okay.
So at the end, they go to the point where they capture Loki and everything. They're about to leave, and they're trying to get the last Infinity Stone, but it gets knocked out of Tony Stark's hand and slides back in front of Loki. He's like, fix that shit up, and just vanishes away, right? And then that's where the series starts.
Okay.
So now he's in trouble with the time cops, essentially. I call them the time cops, but it's the TVA. They take him, and they're like, yo, you violated the timeline. And he's like, nigga, I didn't even go back in time. Like, what the fuck you mean? That was them. I didn't do shit.
Right.
But he wasn't supposed to leave. He was supposed to go back to Asgard and get, his sentence to be in jail. He wasn't supposed to vanish away. I say all that to say that the timeline in which everything happens, it all, like, the Thanos coming down and wiping niggas out, people dying, Tony Stark dying, like, all these shits, it has to happen. The good, the bad, and the ugly, no matter what it is.
Okay, makes sense.
And the variant in which that Loki was, like, it fucked that up because he's supposed to die in Infinity War in the first scene. That's what's supposed to happen. He's supposed to be snapped up, all that shit. He's supposed to be gone.
He knew that too. That's why he was like...
He didn't know until, like, later on, like, because they were showing, like, his life or whatever. And then he got to that part, he was like, oh, hell no. He said, fuck that,
That's
nigga.
supposed to happen to me?
Like,
You want me to go back into that path?
It's a really good... The first episode was great. Like, it's really fucking good. But the domino effect that you're speaking of, like, everything is going to happen the way it needs to happen, regardless.
Speaking of that, the good, the bad, the ugly. Reviewing our last episode and shit, I was just looking at how I have a hard time. What is it? I wrote it down specifically. Like, there it is. Perception, right? Like, it was a lot of... I was just speaking to Shawty about this. Like, a lot of me is a me kind of person. Like, goddamn, I don't think outside of myself a lot, especially being as though I don't do a lot of cooperation and stuff. That's another part of, like, being on your own so much too. Like, before I was, staying on my own in my adult life, like doing that cyber school thing or just the way I lived, like going home by myself. Not, you cool in school, you got all these friends, but they're not invited to the crib. But, like, yeah, I've always been like the kind of lone wolf mover. And so finding that balance and cooperation and, like, it's been a bumpy road for me. And I was looking at that last episode, and it was a lot of that there as well. Just the narcissism. Like, I know I wrote it down. Oh yeah, the perception I must correct. A lot of me, and the perception I must correct as it pertains to our friendship. Because, there we go. Because I also know that this is being recorded and whatnot. Like, people that are outside of our understanding of each other aren't going... they might see that and think they know more than you do about me or my perspective. So I wanted to clear my own subconscious now. I'd be like,
this nigga explaining shit.
but that's part of me.
I know.
And you've accepted that for a long time. Like, nah, but like Kobe, it ain't. I said this shit gay, but I love this nigga. It's just, I'm flawed. I'm flawed, nigga. But you've known that for a long time. I think part of our journey, like, we started this friendship on just authenticity and being able to be ourselves and whatnot. So
there's one moment
what?
that sticks out for me that I knew I was like, all right, I'm dealing with a different type of nigga. We was at my house back in Claymont, right? Okay. And we playing the game or whatever, and of course you were always losing.
I ain't always. Most of the time, like, but
you out of 100 times you won once.
Damn that. Nah, because when I was on the run with the masked man, you couldn't tell me nothing.
Hey, look, I came back on your ass at the fourth.
Nah. Still, you had to learn how to use the masked man. That was the only way you beat me. Yeah.
remember
When you
coming
had
out
the
with
card
I
games.
came out with the fourth, and I trashed you one of those times.
One of those times, but like that, I take pride in the Masked Man being the only time that I had a good run.
And trying to shit today, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's over for me.
See what's
but
poppin'.
I've accepted my place in video games now. Like,
but the punchline here too is this one particular moment that stands out to me that I knew I was dealing with a different type of niggas. So we playing the game, you losing, and we on the bed. Your foot come up, pow, straight on your fucking laptop. That shit. I was like, I said, yo, what the fuck? He was like, I know. I was like, what? Yo, this nigga fucking kicked his fucking all heel. All this. That's just said, boom. And I was like, yo,
I'm better.
you
I'm
need
better
to chill. You open that shit up. That shit was the
I'm better today.
I knew from that moment, I was like, I'm dealing with a whole different type of nigga, son. This nigga is different.
I'm better today.
I never forgot that. I was like, yo, this nigga is different out here, yo. He moving crazy.
Shut up. He said he moving crazy. Man, listen. I had a lack of I didn't respect inanimate objects, especially ones I didn't pay for.
That thing was so
like fast forward today, I have less respect for inanimate objects because I paid for them, and so they just better work. But like, yeah.
And I don't want to make this about all the times you fucked up some shit, but I got another time too.
Nigga, you in these memories. Forget something.
It was one of those times. I think one of the first few times I came to your crib when you was living at the other John, your last place.
Okay.
And again, we playing the game, and this nigga thought he could come back on me, and I was whooping his ass, and you shoved your fucking fridge and went on your balcony, fucking glass of beer that you had, and this time I'm cracking the fuck up. Cause he was talking so much shit, like I think we're practicing, and everything. You threw the fucking bottle, and I waited like 4 good minutes before I came outside to check on you over the balcony like this. I'm like, yo, you good?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck. Get out of my place.
This nigga was like, he was like, yep, I'm good. I was like, you sure?
Man. But that's why I quit playing those kind of games. Like, motherfucking, I know to this day that, like, sure, I've gotten better, but ain't no telling.
Last time.
So, like, motherfucking,
Need a nigga like
fuck
me.
it. Yeah. Fuck that.
Crushed your whole dreams.
I ain't playing that game no more, man. Like, I don't even play. Yeah. Like,
we do gotta play it for a good old time's sake.
No, you just want to laugh. Or we can play Mario Kart. I'm not playing none of those games. Mario Kart, the only game I'm gonna play with you. I don't want to play no more Bro. I don't want to play no more Naruto.
Nigga traumatized.
Yeah, I don't want to play.
That's your triggering.
It's not even fun no more.
The music be like, turn this shit off, turn it off. I can't hear it.
Turn that shit off.
Talking about we hear that bullshit.
Yeah, that shit. Yeah, it takes away from the fun when you ain't even competing no more. You just playing to lose.
Yo, we would spend all night playing this game until you beat me. I was recommending you characters and shit. And you would still it'd be the funniest.
Pikachu
No.
helped me off for a little bit.
It'd be the funniest when we play Naruto and you'd be this close to beating me and I would still beat you.
Oh, that wasn't funny at all.
That shit
that wasn't funny at all.
You would get so close.
And that'd be the kicker. It's just like seeing that and Like,
but the funny,
I'd be like, why is this thing going so hard?
but
Like,
the funny part was like, cause sometimes it be some points I'll really be going hard, and the other times I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna fall back a little bit. But then like when you started coming back, I'm like, oh, hold on. I said, wait a minute, this nigga got the game fucked up. You don't know who I am. Kill this nigga. Crush his dreams. You gonna get one on me?
I really hated that shit. I really hated that shit.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I knew every time I'd be like, you wanna go again?
Nah. Shit. I'm done with that time.
You trying to reminisce? You trying to reminisce
It's
on
not
that?
making me smile as much as you. I'm saying. So no, that's real funny, huh?
Oh man, you probably deleted that shit, but that video of us playing the game. Oh my god.
What? Oh, the one I had on Facebook.
Yeah.
I deleted my Facebook.
That shit was so
but I
fucking
can
funny.
still log in and see that shit. I deleted that mainly because Facebook people be talking. Like you say you scrolled through Facebook recently, and like it's just a bunch of like typing and shit. Motherfuckers like. Of course, they could post their pictures, but there's a lot of what people have to say on
Yeah,
Facebook.
I don't give a fuck
and
that
I don't
much.
give a fuck
I don't
what
give
you
a
have to
fuck.
say.
Yeah.
Like, so
That's just annoying.
it's
for
out
real.
of here for that. Instagram, I really, I just made my profile back to like a personal business page thing so I can do promotions and stuff. Just because, like, motherfucking, that's the only reason I even want to use these apps for. I don't want to use it for no, like, you know, I mean,
Right.
I don't want to be distracted for hours just scrolling. And because by this time, especially my timelines, like, it's just softcore porn at this point. Like, motherfucking, I get on Instagram and that be half the reason my dick get hard every fucking 10 minutes. And I'm sitting here looking at X and XX, looking for a bitch that look like this bitch because I'm not trying to hit this bitch up for her pussy. Knowing that she gonna try to give me a hard time for it.
Oh my god, so, but hey, it'd be like that. But back, you were talking about how you know, a lot of things are just about like me, and you know, and narcissism and everything like that, and cooperation. It's funny for me just to even hear you talk about it because like I guess I hadn't even gave it too much thought up until it started like until I started having to like be more a part of it. You know what I mean? Because before it was all just like, you know, no pun intended, but fun and games with us. You know what I mean? I didn't really have to be indulged in that side of you so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now that I do, I'm just like, oh, nah.
This is what he means.
Yeah, now, oh, I see how he's a jackass. I get it. But I'm like, all right, but I don't judge you like for it because I've already, you know, come to know you, and that's something that, again, I embrace for you. I just know that how I have to maneuver with it, and how you know you're coming to understand it more and more. Like it's interesting. It's just interesting.
Oh, I did. And that was a part of my questioning too. That was going to follow that up. Like myself, like I took I took that one offense very seriously. Just something as simple as like it bled into other parts of the friendship, but something as simple as traveling in that snow to go to that basketball game, and just like by that point, y'all was just ready to go back to the crib. It was snowing, it was a blizzard and whatnot. I took offense to that in many ways, and that was one of the things that just like had me on that hiatus for a year. Is like. Are these the kind of things that would, have you ever had to consider that for yourself, taking a break from the friendship, like getting your space for your mental space?
When I look back over just the friends that I've had, they've kind of all come to like some sort of end without us having like a conversation about it.
Right.
But not because we were ever on bad terms, just because, you know.
Grew apart type
Grew
thing.
apart, you know. That alone, like that scenario was a little different for me because I just felt as though you weren't as understanding as you could have been, you know, and a little bit more just
reactive.
Yeah, a little less reactive and a little more empathetic. You know what I mean? Because the scenario was that I think you had left at that point at CMI, right?
Yeah, I wasn't working there no
Yeah.
more. I was doing a fundraising thing because that's how I got the ticket.
Right. So I was already there, but didn't have a car, didn't have a license, and I drove my parents there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I had no control or say so over any and everything. And the fact of the matter is that if and even if I did have control, like we said, it was a snowstorm. Like
Yeah.
there was no getting, and it took 2 hours longer just to get home from there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like trees falling on the street type time. Like so for me, it was like seeing how upset you were getting about it, or that you had gotten about it, and how taken aback you were. Took me aback. So I'm just like,
Oh yeah, because in
where's
my
the-
and I can understand more so now your perspective than I did then. But then, nigga, I just traveled in this and I made it, and I didn't take a car. I took a bus.
right.
So I'm saying, in my head, I'm thinking, all right, I understand those aspects that would make it easier, like getting in the car, It's like Cole, could Cole get on the bus one day? Like, when is Cole going to be able to do anything on his own? Like, that's where I was at that juncture in time.
But also too,
and that's where the offense came from.
yeah. But also too, dog. Like that was foolish of you to even try to do that.
How so?
Because
Go
some
to a
shit,
basketball game?
some shit.
In that
in a
snowstorm
snowstorm, that
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
foolish.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's straight up foolish.
I
And for
mean,
me, I wouldn't even put myself in a situation like that.
Because I guess it's also a thing of how we walk across the street. You know, I don't necessarily have to look both ways. I know I'll be good, and then on the other hand, it's just like something like that don't seem dangerous to me. Like especially on a bus and stuff. Like I don't know So it's perspective.
It's the consideration. That's really what it is. The consideration that one, everyone isn't always going to do everything that you feel comfortable doing.
Right.
Just because you can swim doesn't mean I'm going to hop in the water with you.
Make swim.
I
said make swims.
I get
sense,
I get on a boat and watch you, but we'll both be in the water. I'm just not in the water with you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like it's the consideration, the fact that that we can
Just because you can do it doesn't mean I can do it.
or that I even have to.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the same expectation we have for women. Like just because we are who we are doesn't mean they have to always acquiesce to who we are.
Uh-huh.
Like they do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't give a fuck about you. You know what I mean? But in the situation of us being friends and having to navigate those scenarios where it's like, all right, well, yeah, sure, Cole could have taken a bus, but would Cole have been uncomfortable? Would it have ever even made it?
Yeah. I made
No.
it, and it stopped snowing.
No,
and that's where we're going to differ on that one. Like, where your thing to my perspective was that I lacked consideration and empathy. My thing there is just that what you were willing to do, like, I guess, what is it? When I look at, I've said before that maybe it's because I think more that like I be feeling like people are less or more considerate than myself. Then and I'll catch myself being more considerate than others and stuff. Simple stuff that like and you've cleared it up for me when you say like the things that I'm willing to do, like I shouldn't expect other people to be willing or have to do. However, it just it's like Uncle Willard told me of saying if you want to care about somebody, make sure they care about you just as much, if not more. And so like when it was at those junctures where I do something that didn't seem like it was a big deal, as far as like being in that storm and whatnot, going to the basketball game, it didn't seem like a big deal. However, in the same token, I'd be like, I know that my friends or the people, they don't do these things for me. And maybe they have resources that I don't have. Or maybe like I have to put myself in a position so that I could be, you know what I mean? Like, say if you're having to get together, I'm going to be there. Like, or now how I get there or something, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I just, yeah. I think that's where I was and still struggle with to not not with that situation, but just with my mindset when it comes to what I'm willing to do for people and what they're willing to do for me. Like, or yeah, just is that a consideration gap?
I would say yeah, because as I'm hearing you talk about this, like me personally, like it's that situation had
And damn that situation.
yeah. Well, I'm just in reference to it, but like a lot of times, a lot of things that we end up feeling a way about has less to do with the person and more to do with how we're feeling about it.
Okay.
Right. So in terms of that, the reality of the situation is that I literally could not have made it there. Could not have. Whether through my parents, through a bus or whatever. There was no way I could have fucking made it there. At all. Period.
If I made it, there's no way.
I'm telling you.
I get what you're saying.
But I'm telling you though. Period.
Saying.
That's what it is. There was literally been no fucking way. Because again, it took 2 hours to get home.
No, I guess what I'm trying to clarify is.
And on the way there was 3 buses that were stopped and that were not going anywhere else.
Oh, okay.
This is what I'm saying.
Semantics. Because I was about to say
reality, nigga. This is the reality of it.
I took the train below, like the 69, the 113 only got me to 69th Street. We were supposed to take the subway after that. Subways were moving. That's why I'm saying there is a reality where in which that would have worked out for you. It just didn't. You know what I'm saying?
And also too, it's just like, okay, sure, if we're gonna go with that, but even still, it had less to do with the fact that I didn't want to go or that I didn't.
That's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
That's why I say you can't speak to what is not possible. It's just what you were not willing to do, and that's where I was getting to.
Yeah, I still feel like, and I know that it just wasn't gonna work out. It just wasn't.
Because it wasn't something you wanted to do.
It was something I wanted to do.
I get what you're saying.
You can't speak for me. I know what the fuck I wanted to do.
You're saying.
I knew what I wanted to do.
All right.
The fact of the matter was that it just was not feasible to do. And if I know me for me, and I also knew the situation that I was in, which is different from your situation, it's not getting done. It's just not.
Okay.
And it has less to do with you, the fact that I just can't do something the way you do it.
Uh-huh.
And it shouldn't be much offense to it. So boom, the fact that when I mentioned to you that I wanted to, go to LA, me for my birthday or whatever,
right.
and you just can't do whatever. I feel disappointed, but I'm not gonna feel a way about it just because you can't go. It's just like, oh, you just can't go.
Right.
You have other shit that says that you just can't go. You could go if you really wanted to. You got money to go.
Right.
But there's things that are not allowing you to fully embrace you to wanting to go.
Makes sense. Now that I'll also say too, we discussed with the whole LA thing. We this not for long, but we briefly went over that where it was just like it's not the best time. So that's where my confusion with that was. If we had discussed that already and you just brought it up to go again.
Well, I forgot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you would have known already that was the case that I was.
Yeah, no, I've totally forgot that conversation.
But
legitimately, I totally forgot about
using
that
as an example to say that I've done the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just motherfucking yeah. It's how we take things. And I take offense a lot quicker.
You take a lot of shit personal.
Yeah.
Take a lot of shit personal. And for me, I try not to even be in that headspace because I'd always be frustrated.
Oh yeah.
And I can't sit here and sure and not to say some things aren't personal too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but then if I come to see that, then you got it. Like, wow, it's no skin off my back. Like, fuck my face. I don't got to deal with you ever again.
Right.
But I know a lot of times, though, in the grand scheme of things, just from my experiences, a lot of shit just hasn't been so personal as I might have thought they were. And after a conversation or two, and the understanding that has to come from it, like, you see it's more to it than that.
And that's what I'm learning in this, like, adult life and in this growing stages. Like, when you have relationships with people in your life that you care about, it's worth just communicating. And a lot of times I don't do that based off of just that attitude of not caring, or the old guard on what manhood is. And so like motherfucking what I look like having this. I told you recently, I don't do no explaining to nobody. Like, so what I look like explaining myself. Like, I feel how I feel. It is what it is. And however, when you have people you care about in your life, it don't have to be that way. It don't have to be that way. At
Yeah,
least.
yeah, for sure. And me, it's like whenever I think of our friendship up until this point, I don't even that whole like year of us not even talking. It doesn't even like bother me because
Oh no.
like I don't even and it hadn't because I never felt a negative way towards. I wasn't like the
Right. You weren't harboring any of those feelings.
yeah. If anything, it was just like damn, like I can't talk to my nigga because he mad. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like oh, if it was like beans to tell you wasn't his feelings. Like nigga, like I couldn't say nothing to my dog because like he mad over some shit I really just couldn't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like
Now we had that conversation when we came back to the pod years later. I know that that was an event that like broke the or it was like that event was the end all be all for me. But it was leading up to that I was just like, all right, we're not moving in. We're not moving on the plans that we were making. And is it getting to a point where we're just seeing the world two different ways? I think at the time you were in a relationship with Miss Lady that you went to New York with and whatnot. Like I was looking at it from big picture. If this and then this event just happens, offends me, I get mad. It's over for that. Because like I'm just like, all right, our friendship not going in the direction in which we envisioned it to go in when we were kids and stuff. Like making these moves and whatnot, and I'm making them alone. Like, are we really headed where we foresaw ourselves headed, or are we just talking?
I think that could have been a conversation before.
It could have had I not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that this goes back to this our maturity level. You know what I'm saying? And how we would have even been able to have that kind of conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time it was like my focus wasn't necessarily. It's hard to even say what the fuck my focus was back then.
Yeah, I was about to say. I wonder actually now that you say so.
Because if I remember correctly, I wanted to. I was with her, and I kind of just wanted to, like, really start to go towards like my photography shit.
You had the pod going too.
Had the pod going, but nothing too concrete. And I had signed up for film school and everything. If any, I was still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I had a sense of where I wanted to go, but I was still genuinely trying to figure it out of what that was.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
This conversation though, now that we're speaking on it, it's even learning me something about just like that whole lone wolf mentality and how I was navigating in a way that if you're not keeping up, then you're left behind. You know, like I was just because as you were saying that you was trying to figure it out, and I'm just like, damn, Manny, like you basically. In my mental, I'm rushing this nigga to do what he's not ready for. Like, basically, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's not fair just because I've made it to a certain level to rush you into a process you're not ready for.
Yeah, and if anything, the more I've come into just experiencing, I realize that a lot of times for me, I do get sidetracked and I end up getting distracted by a lot of different shit. But if I'm in the right space with somebody who can get my head back to where it needs to be, it will be back to where it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of times, even our conversations get me to that point again.
Right.
The fact that, I spent the year in Philly and I would have, conversation with Aaron, and it was a constant reminder that I can't be distracted, that I need to focus, I need to get my shit together. And it helped because it lets my own devices. Who knows what your boy gonna do? Makes sense. What I mean? And if history has shown me is that I'm more than likely to get sidetracked and get distracted. And so that's why when we was talking on the phone and I was like, how do you think I feel asking you, for rides and shit like that. You're like, how you think I feel asking, my cousin for advice or whatever. But it's like, dog, like in reality, I need that just as much as you would need that from me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's, sure, you can show me a lot of what you do and everything, which is fine. But because we talk so much, I would also need to hear like what it actually is.
Yeah.
What everything else actually is. So it's like, oh, okay, I get that. I see what that is. Okay, like I'm learning here. That's
Makes
what it
sense.
is.
All right, makes sense. Yeah. Better. We're getting better. Flexibility of choices, right? Balance. Because I made a list that motherfucker went with that. Goddamn. Having a plan, discipline. Because I just wrote the snippet of having a plan and discipline. Because speaking of which, when we was on that FaceTime call, we talked about different things for the pod and whatnot, and having plans, and then I just putting together having a plan for myself, that discipline. But part of that was I got a bed recently, like. And just, it was outside of the plans, but it was just something for comfort. A little treat myself thing. You see what I got to do for myself. Get a bed. But yeah, man, like, I'm cool with
I got some
time.
water, you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a very simple man. But I got this motherfucker. First of all, like, when you had that bounce back, then like it makes you realize how much that bounce back. You know what I'm saying? Is how good it is. It's comfort. Yeah, it's comfort for the lady. Like on my futon and shit. I can't push you into that joint. You gonna feel all the metal in that motherfucker. Like, yeah. But on the bed. Just nice little bounce back, a little poo. That shit was lovely up until I realized that I was higher off the ground and I remembered. And I ordered DoorDash, tried to crawl off the bed. Man,
this nigga ate shit.
I ate so much shit, and I was moving fast too. I said because I thought I forgot to leave the chair outside for them to put the food on. So I was getting up to get the chair, and I'm moving like. Like, that feeling you get in your stomach when you're going down on a roller coaster? I got that jaw. Like, that's how high I felt like.
Shit, this nigga
man,
shit out the bed.
Fucked myself up on that motherfucking bed. Because I want to try some new comfortable shit.
That is fucking hilarious.
Shit, nigga, flowers. And speaking of which, just to bring things to their conclusion or their proper conclusion, I did have some flowers that I brought, what is it? And it wasn't many.
I'm not saying, nigga, I ain't see no flowers when you walked in this bitch.
That's it. Oh, I didn't know that joke. Yeah, I realized where it was going. I was just like, that doesn't make any sense. You just saying dumb shit. But, well, fucking, yeah. I was like, and this conversation speaks perfectly to it because I did notice that you've had this unwavering belief in me, like even when I was at my low points and whatnot. So just to know, because I remember you speak about what?
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
Listen to
you know me. I'm always thinking of Naruto and Sasuke, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. I saw you smile. I said, what?
What you gotta say? It's funny.
Right. But motherfucking, yeah. But the long short of that is, yeah, I know that and I've said this before, because I don't say many kind things, but motherfucking, I say I'm very honest. I say very honest things, and it's just like, yeah, man. I without that without the element that you do bring to my life, I don't know what it would look like. I like to assume I'd be okay, just cause motherfucking I'm me.
Yeah.
But I do know that it's a very positive energy. Like right now, the circle that I've built to this point in my life is very small, but I do know that it is a small circle of the correct people, and I'm glad that you are in my circle.
Of course, like, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny when, because when I hear you say unwavering belief, like for me, I don't even think of it that way. You just my nigga. You know what I mean? Like, and if you someone who I care about, I don't have to think twice about how much I care about you or what I'm willing to just like be for that person. Like that, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the acknowledgement. Goddamn, you know what I'm saying? You my dog for real. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
That being said, nigga, what time is it? How long we been at?
Fuck if I know. It's been a minute. Shit, this been a real, chill episode for once.
It has. I was about to say we didn't laugh as much.
Yeah, not too many jokes this time.
Yeah. We was getting to it.
Yeah. Fuck y'all, y'all know what it is. Cherry Bird.
Yeah, here come the joke. We gotta go an hour again. Just so we could. And it's probably just due to the fact it's been a mellow ass week, man. Nigga,
yeah.
I came in here on a mellow vibe. Like,
yeah, it definitely did.
Like motherfucking.
Usually you come in like
what's up? But yeah, nah, I just like motherfucking. It's been real grateful. Grateful for the blessings and shit. It's like when the artist is in relationships and their music not fun no more. That's what it is. It's just like I'm happy, dog.
Yeah, nah, I feel that, goddamn. And I think for me the reason I'm kind of just chilling out is like the fact that again, like I said earlier, I'm just trying to reel everything back in, organize shit, for where I'm at in this space. So, is I can be a little more excited, but I'm just like I have to
temper it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just because it's a whole lot more to do these days. So, but once all that shit is figured out,
Man, I'm laughing like, but right now you couldn't even find a joke.
I know, goddamn, it's all the ones we've been saying.
Shit. I'm just ready to. And my mind is really already back working on projects again. So it's like I'm not even present. I
feel that shit, goddamn. Well, look, this has been real. Another episode. What's this, episode 7?
Episode 7.
Episode 7. You know what I mean? It's gonna be crazy looking back on this shit.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking of. I mean, like, it's a small number, but just to be at 7, I was like, okay, that's 7 weeks.
Yeah, like, dog, we month and a half in. A month and a half in. There's plenty more to come, too.
You know what I'm saying? All right, good shit. My nigga.
Out this bitch.
I was about to say. I said, you do it first.